Hey guys, we're here at DICE in Las Vegas, 2010. I'm here with Matt Casamassina to talk a little bit about a panel we just saw about the threat of censorship in games. Matt, you attended the panel. What did you think?
Right, so yeah, it was ESA's, I think his name is Ken Doroshow, and he is basically the legal counsel for the ESA. He's the guy who defends them and defends really the rights of gamers against censorship by the government and against, politicians looking to make a name for themselves.
So, what was his main point?
Really, that their defense is ongoing, and that even though we don't realize it, there's actually all these legal battles that are happening constantly right now. They're 10 for 10. They've won all their battles so far. There's still more looming, and there's actually a few serious threats that could really upend everything that they've worked toward right now. So the big one on that was, everything is defended under the First Amendment as a right of expression. So you can basically say whatever you want in games within reason. There are a few exemptions, and it's these exemptions that are being pushed by some politicians to kind of like as a loophole to get through and to really kind of warp the rating system and take advantage of it. So they're trying to define certain very violent games as one of these exemptions, which would therefore become criminally a criminal act. You could prosecute that. And, of course, that would upset the entire game industry. There's like, every game that's made and has some, bit of violence in it, it seems these days. And there's some that are really violent. So,
And this is it's kind of like the obscenity charge, right? So this is kind of how they're approaching it. It's like there are certain types of speech that are not protected under the First Amendment, essentially what they're saying. And we see this happen sort of time and time again. Like every year it seems like there's a couple of these that come up. One state or the other is trying to, severely limit the way video games are sold or who they're sold to. Did he talk at all about why these claims keep coming up, and even though they just keep getting smacked down every time?
he did. He didn't really touch upon that, but he did address the fact that they are coming back again and again. He even called one of them. I think there's one in Rhode Island that just came up last week, and one of his colleagues said it was 2006, which I thought, that's actually true. And really, it's they're always going to come back because people are looking for scapegoats. Whether it's a politician or somebody has unfortunately been murdered at any kind of scenario. Anything, it's going to come back and they're going to blame games or sometimes movies, whatever. But oftentimes games are the scapegoat these days, and unfairly so. You'll see that another reason why many of these cases fall by the wayside is because the government or the state, whoever's prosecuting or whoever's presenting these cases, they single out video games, but they completely ignore movies. They completely ignore television. So it's already unfair. It's very one-sided, and they're able to use that as a defense, and it's worked very well.
Well, so, what can gamers do to make sure that if this is happening in their state, did you talk at all about, what kind of action people can take to help make sure this type of legislation doesn't go through?
Well, you should read the ESA site. I think you can start there, and I'm sure there's links out to just about, you can probably find all of that material there. I would recommend going there and looking for it. But, if you want to take part in this, just stay active. Read the sites, read the ESA's website, and, stay active. Keep up to date and do what you got to do.
And what's strange about this too is that this is kind of the reason that the ESRB was created, right? To have a system of rating in place so that when these legal challenges come forward, the industry can point and say, "Look, we're being proactive about this. We're policing ourselves." And I don't know what their data is on whether it works or not, but it seems like a no-brainer to me that this stuff won't get passed when they can point to that.
Yeah, it's all about, if the laws are created when there's no policing of any kind coming, so you need something there in place that's going to provide that. But, as the ESA points out, you do have the rating system. You do have parents should be doing the job as well. And, of course, you've also got parental controls on game consoles now. So you've got all these alternatives, and those are staying off these really broad-reaching laws that could otherwise really affect a lot of gamers.
On the other hand, every time I go into GameStop or eBay or whatever, I always see some crazy mom buying a mature rated game for her 7-year-old. So, what are you going to do?
Apparently, if you're a politician, you're going to prosecute them to the full extent of the law.
Well, there you have it. News straight from DICE. Thanks for joining us. We'll have more as the show goes on.